Before you settle in, imagine this. A king who defies his entire kingdom, all for the woman he loves. That's not your typical fairy tale, it's today's story.
Honestly, I still get goosebumps thinking about the courage that takes. I'm excited to share it. I'm here with you today, and together, we'll dive into a love story that's equal parts romance and rebellion.
If you're curious about what makes a king risk it all for love, you're in the right place. We'll walk you through Rani's humble beginnings, the king's bold choices, and the challenges they faced from the palace and beyond.
Plus, we'll unpack why this story still matters and what we can learn from such relentless devotion. Ready to step into the royal court? Let's get started.
So, let's set the scene. Rani grew up in a tiny village, right? No luxury, no royal blood, just her simplicity and kindness.
That's exactly what drew the king to her. He saw something genuine in her, a beauty that had nothing to do with jewels or silk, but everything to do with her heart.
It's always fascinating how the most powerful people can be humbled by the simplest moments. I wonder if the king was searching for something real, away from all the palace glamour.
He absolutely was. And Rani, just being herself, became the answer he didn't even realize he needed. But that's where the real drama begins, doesn't it?
You could almost feel the tension, right? The king's family couldn't accept Rani just because of her background. It's amazing how tradition can stand in the way of love.
It gets even heavier. The king's advisors, even distant relatives, all had their opinions. They cared more about status than happiness, and that pressure was intense.
I can't help but think how lonely that must have felt for both of them. The king, torn between duty and desire, and Rani, suddenly thrust into a world that rejected her.
That's what makes their story so powerful. Instead of letting that opposition break them, it just made their connection stronger. The king's next decision really changed everything.
Here's where things really take a turn. The king decides love is worth more than his crown. He's willing to give up everything just to be with Rani.
That level of commitment is almost unheard of. It's not just about romance anymore. It becomes a statement about what truly matters in life.
I keep thinking, would any of us be brave enough to make that choice? Giving up comfort, security, even a throne? For love?
It puts our own priorities into perspective, doesn't it? The king's sacrifice made everyone question their values, and finally, they couldn't ignore his determination.
Dramatic music aside, this was the moment when the story could have gone either way. Would the kingdom accept their love, or would it all fall apart?
There's something so cinematic about that suspense. The king stood his ground, and Rani's quiet strength spoke volumes. It's like their love became undeniable, even to their critics.
What surprised me was how the people outside the palace eventually started supporting them. One act of courage can ripple out and change so many minds.
And in the end, all that drama forged a bond that nothing could shake. That's when the real transformation began for both Rani and the king.
So, after all that upheaval, the king marries Rani, and she becomes queen. But her happiness wasn't instant, was it?
No, it took time for her to settle in. But what's beautiful is how she recognized the king's love and eventually found joy in her new life, despite the odds.
I love that their story didn't end at the wedding. Their real, happily ever after came from mutual respect and understanding, not just a fairy tale moment.
And maybe that's what sets their story apart. Their happiness was hard-won, which makes it even more inspiring.
So, what can we actually take away from the king and Rani's journey? First, love can break even the oldest barriers if you stay true to it.
Second, courage means standing up for what matters even when it means swimming against the current or the entire royal family.
And third, real happiness isn't about titles or wealth, but about building a life with someone who truly sees and values you.
If this story moved you, maybe take a moment today to show appreciation for the people you love. No grand gestures needed, just honesty and courage. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep believing in the power of love.